Wednesday, May 18th, a wife for Isaac. Genesis 24 tells the story of the marriage of Isaac after Sarah's death. The two stories are related. Read Genesis 24. Why is Abraham so concerned that his son not marry a woman from the Canaanites? Just as Abraham wanted to acquire the land in order to bury his wife, because of God's promise to his descendants that they would have this land, he now insists that Isaac not settle outside of the promised land either. Genesis 24:7. Also, Isaac's move to bring his bride to Sarah's tent and the note that Rebekah comforted Isaac after his mother's death, Genesis 24:67, point back to Sarah's death, implying Isaac's pain at the loss of his mother. The story is full of prayers and fulfillment of prayers, and rich with lessons about God's providence and human freedom. It begins with Abraham's words, swearing by the Lord, the God of heaven and the God of the earth, Genesis 24:3. Abraham is first of all acknowledging God as the Creator, Genesis 1:1, 14:19, with a direct bearing on the births of Abraham's descendants, including the Messiah himself. The reference to his angel and to the Lord God of heaven, Genesis 24:7, points back to the angel of the Lord who came from heaven to rescue Isaac from being slaughtered, Genesis 22:11. The God who controls the universe, the angel of the Lord, who intervened to save Isaac, will lead in this question of marriage. Abraham leaves open, however, the possibility that the woman will not respond to God's call. As powerful as he is, God does not force humans to obey him. Although God's plan for Rebekah is to follow Eliezer, she retains the freedom of choice. That is, it was possible that this woman would not want to come, and if not, she would not be forced to. Hence, we see here another example of the great mystery of how God has given us, as humans, free will, free choice, a freedom that he will not trample on. If he did trample, it would not be free will. And yet, somehow, despite the reality of human free will and many of the terrible choices humans make with that free will, we can still trust that in the end, God's love and goodness ultimately will prevail. Why is it so comforting to know that while not all things are God's will, he is still in charge? How do prophecies like Daniel 2, for instance, prove this point to us? From the book Patriarchs and Prophets, page 171, it says, Abraham had become an old man and expected soon to die. Yet one act remained for him to do in securing the fulfillment of the promise to his posterity. Isaac was the one divinely appointed to succeed him as the keeper of the law of God and the father of the chosen people, but he was yet unmarried. The inhabitants of Canaan were given to idolatry, and God had forbidden intermarriage between his people and them, knowing that such marriages would lead to apostasy. The patriarch feared the effect of the corrupting influences surrounding his son. Abraham's faithful faith in God and submission to his will were reflected in the character of Isaac. but the young man's affections were strong, and he was gentle and yielding in disposition. If united with one who did not fear God, he would be in danger of sacrificing principle for the sake of harmony. In the mind of Abraham, the choice of a wife for his son was a matter of grave importance. He was anxious to have him marry one who would not lead him from God.